see y'all this weekend. Tickets on sale, Tasha K on stage.com. All right, so I don't chase every lie because, you guys have to know the origin of a lie. You don't know where it came from, and so you don't know where it's going to go. And so when you chase lies, and I have to start this out because I know it's redundant, being that you don't know the source, you never know where the person or the lie is going to go. And so you'll forever be chasing something that's not true. And that can lead you down the wrong path. That can lead you making the wrong decisions, acting off of emotion, things like that. But also there's a flip side to a lie, is that a lie can eventually be unchallenged. A lie unchallenged can eventually become the truth, right? And so we've seen that happen amongst a lot of like public figures. I don't even call them celebrities anymore because celebrities you celebrate. We celebrate these people. And a lot of people will call, like Diddy, he's not a celebrity to me, he's a public figure. And because I'm not celebrating anything about Diddy, okay? And so, it's just terms, just like you said, good morning. You're not saying that no more, using grand rising. That's cool. Okay. And so you said mourning, we aren't mourning. Okay, I got you. All right, so I normally don't try to chase every lie and misconception, just whatever. I know what I signed up for. I'm with all the shits. You understand? My family is with all the shits. My kids is with all the shits. I get it. And so we know what comes with this, and, so it's not about, we're people, my family is embarrassed or anything like that, or my husband is embarrassed. He's been called everything under the sun. Like, it is what it is. But also his wife, this is what his wife does. He produces the show. So you guys have to understand our work dynamic, right? And speaking of work dynamic and marriage dynamic, we're celebrating 18 years today. Oh my God, it's my anniversary. Yes. So my cycle went off just in time. I said, look at God, just showing up on time for you, Shaq. Look at God. He was like, damn. So anyway, yes, we're celebrating 18 years today, July 10th. This is our first anniversary. We're married twice. Both of my kids are by the same man. They have the same daddy. And yeah, like God is so good. God is so good. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I thought I'd give y'all a little good news before it gets heavy. But to my Black women that are here and just women in general, I'm for us, right? I am a Black woman, so it is what it is. I'm not a Candace Owens out here. I don't act, I'm not a Black woman or a person that lives in a Black woman body who's sworn to correct all things that are just misdone in the Black community. And I'm going to start with marrying white and making sure that my kids can't fully identify as Black. That's a whole nother situation. I'm Black. I love being Black. So much so I wanted to ensure that I married an African man so that I could be Blacker. Right. You know, my kids and their generation, they gonna be able to know where they came from. That's important in the Black community because we've been stripped of that. And so being able to give my kids an African last name from their African father, that was strategic for me. Just like how these Black men out here go marry white girls. Strategic. Candace Owens, strategic. So, yeah. Sorry, that's me. All right, so on to the lie. So there was some misinformation put out, and I would rather us not use names, okay? Because I don't want us to get sidetracked. We got 4 shows this week, all right? And we got a lot of content to produce, all right? And so we're gonna be live with 2 shows tomorrow, 2 shows on Friday, because I'm taking off today to spend time with my husband, okay? And yeah, I just, wanted to come on and correct something because my mom called me yesterday. And my mom, she be in the blogs too. She with all the shits. However, there's this stigma in the black community that is it's kind of one of those things like, please don't say that I did this. You could say that I did a lot of shit, but just don't say that I did this. All right. And so for the lie that was put out, and like I said, we don't need to say any names or anything because I want us to stay focused. My mama never smoked crack a day in her life. My mama never smoked crack, and she prided herself on not smoking crack. Everybody around her was smoking crack. It was a very, very dark time coming up in the 80s and the 90s with 3 kids. And that was one of the things that she drilled in our head. Please don't let these niggas get you on crack. Don't smoke that shit. She wouldn't even let us play with other kids whose parents who she knew smoked crack. That was such a thing because everybody was on it. Everybody was on it. And, for her to hear that, and it's like, what? And at first, I wasn't sympathetic to my mom because I'm like, you know the rules of this game. Come on now. How do you think Beyonce feels when I talk about Miss Tina? Like, seriously, you can't get mad when people come for you. I know, but I ain't never smoked no motherfucking crack. You already know. Like, it's just that if you understand what black families went through back in time, like smoking crack, that is just say anything, but just don't say that shit. And I'm trying to take a subject that is heavy and make it light. She never smoked no crack. I never said that my mama smoked crack. You guys, if you come to my comedy shows, you know who in my family do, right? So, yeah, you gotta buy a ticket to hear that information. All right, like I said, we're gonna be in Orlando. Then after Orlando, we're gonna be in Boston. Make sure you get those tickets to Boston, Massachusetts, July 20th. And July 21st, we're gonna be in New York. I am moving south to New York. Okay? We're gonna be at the city wineries, but this weekend we're gonna be at the Funny Bone in Orlando. Tickets on sale, TashaK.com. And so smoking crack, that's kind of a slap in the face. Like, don't put that on me. You put a lot of shit on me, just don't put smoking crack on me. And so what I do want to correct, because a lot of times when I do put stuff out, people do misconstrue things. It was uncle by marriage. My grandmother was married to his dad, which was my granddad by marriage. And his son, so yeah, I don't know what that would make him, came to live with us. And he started at 5 years old, molesting me. So you have to understand, like, I lived a very normal childhood for the most part, but I saw what other black families, what other kids went through. But when I turned 5, my innocence was taken of no fault of my family, of no fault of my mom. You have to understand, in our family, the grandmothers helped to raise us, the aunts helped to raise us. We were very close-knit. We're still that way. So to know that somebody would be bold enough, because it didn't happen, and let me make this very clear. It didn't happen to any other kid in the family but me. My grandmother had such a hard time accepting this because she's like, how the fuck did this happen? You have to understand, like, I'm in her house. It's a 3-bedroom house. My room is like literally around the corner from her room. She's married to the sheriff of the town. Her husband is the sheriff of the town. She is like a head chef on Tyndall Air Force Base. And where her husband's son was sleeping, I slept across the hall with her daughter. So she's like, how the fuck did this happen? I'm talking about I came like in a, I came up in a house where Christmas was huge. I was the grandbaby they praised. Like, I was that grandbaby. There was no grandbaby. My cousins and them used to be jealous of me because they'd be like, why did they give her everything? My Christmas tree, my grandma would go get a real Christmas tree. She would decorate that house, not for nobody else, but for me. I was the baby in the house. My mom couldn't raise me if she wanted to. Because between my grandmother and my great-grandmother, Ma, those are the two houses that I went between. So my mom didn't stand a chance at 17 having a baby and raising that baby full time with her mom and my grandmother, great-grandmother, fighting over me. So the fact that that shit happened was like, how the fuck that this happened? Like, my grandmother did not, she was like, no, 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 nobody did this. She was in denial for so many years because she felt like this couldn't have happened under my watch. This couldn't have happened. I'm in the house every day. My husband is the sheriff. He's the head sheriff. And he worked for the newspaper, the Herald, the News Herald in Panama City. My grandfather taught me how to, I was adding and multiplying and dividing at 5 years old. I was reading on a third grade level at 5 years old. Like, you have to understand, they could not understand, like, why wouldn't Tasha say something? And so it was my aunt that when she came over and she asked me, and I was coloring one day, and I remember this. We were sitting at the table. My grandma used to have them big giant spoons, and she was like, what you do today, Tasha? And I was like, went outside. I went to grandma's house and I was like, Alan played with my tutu. And they was like, what? Because they taught me how to say vagina as tutu. And I was like, they was like, wait, what? And I was like, I remember, I was like, yeah, and I was just coloring. He played with my tutu. Those are my earliest memories. I don't remember anything earlier than that. Those are my earliest memories. And all I know is I remember my mom, because she had went to get married, came back. And she had just had my sister. And so she had been begging my grandmama and my great-grandmama to send me to her. And they was like, no, she ain't going nowhere. She was like, I'm married. I can take care of my baby. They said it's not about that. She going to be raised by us. And thank God I was raised by them. I don't regret anything that happened in my childhood to me at all. Shout out to my grandmothers. I love them. I call on them every day. But I remember my mom and my aunt, the one who I told this to, they immediately got the authorities involved. And you got to understand how this went, because my grandfather was the head sheriff. And they had to go outside of him to get a case. I remember going downtown Panama City to the courthouse every day to meet with lawyers and prosecutors and explaining using dolls what this boy did to me in the house, okay? And how many times it happened, what did he look like? And I remember going to trial. My mom was right there. My aunt was right there. My grandfather was right there. The only person that didn't show it was my grandmother, because she could not believe this happened in her house. And so that eventually led to my grandmother and my grandfather divorcing. Because my grandfather having pool ended up, even though my uncle was found guilty, the deal was made that something was wrong with him. He was a little off, and he was. I can truly say without a shadow of a doubt, the man was slow, right? He was slow. So he said, I will take him away out of the state of Florida. He will be a registered offender, and he will never, ever come in contact with Tasha or any child again. And I had never seen him again until he started following me on Facebook a few years ago. And I was like, is this Alan? Are you fucking serious? Like, he followed me. And that was a whole nother thing. And so he's still alive, Alan Blackman in Austin, Texas, okay? He has 2 kids and a wife. And I reached out to all of them to let them know that I'm about to blast him. And I did. And so my mother never allowed anybody to do anything to me. My mother was there every step of the way through my court case. And after we won, we didn't get the deal that we wanted, but she took me away, and my father was stationed in Germany, and we ended up, we went to Valdosta, Georgia. After Valdosta, my father was stationed in Germany, and we went to Germany. And then we came, but we stayed in Germany for a few years and we came back. That's when they went through their divorce. That's when my mom ended up becoming suicidal. And that's where the decline of our relationship happened that we have fixed. Because you have to understand the earliest memories of my mom was all good. But when I became a teenager, because teenagers need their mom the most, my mom was not there mentally for me. That's when my grades started to drop. That's when I was in the 9th grade 3 years. That's when I refused to go to school. You have to understand that. And my aunt picked up and tried to help to navigate me through life and succeeded, okay, without me doing anything crazy that way, okay? So, so for anybody to say that Lynette smoked crack, that is not true. Never smoked crack a day in her life. Never did any hard drugs a day in her life. Was she a perfect mom? No, but she was perfect for me. She's my perfect mom. And, I don't need to go back and forth with anybody to say that, but I did. To my winos, I thought it was important that you guys know, the truth, because people are going to say what they want to say. That's the nature of the business. They're going to say, they're going to exaggerate, they're going to make up, they're going to call me a liar, you're going to call this, but trust and believe you guys will be able to come to me and get the real. Okay? You guys will be able to come to me and get the real.